Hey everybody, this is the great room at the Landis residence. This room's about 30 feet long, 20 feet wide. This is the main hangout, as you can see. There's the reef tank, 180 gallon. And here's my messy area. But what I really want to talk about has to do with those down there. Albums, records, vinyl. My second expensive habit. And this right here. This is the Audio Technica LP120 USB direct drive. It's made for a DJ turntable. I got this piece of tape right here because this button likes to stick on me. But it seems like as soon as I put the tape on, the button works fine. I don't know. It would if I just cleaned it a little bit, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. Anyways, here's my setup. Yes, it's messy as hell, but that's okay. I'm running 2 Klipsch towers with a Yamaha and a set of Advents on both sides, and that's currently the record that is on the turntable right now. But anyways, I got an Onkyo 1200 watt 7-channel stereo, a Cambridge audio moving magnet phono preamp, a 1980 sound shaper, and another receiver to run my 2 10-inch car subs, which I'll be changing soon anyways because I want to run them with the ohms that they're supposed to be ran. But anyways, this turntable is actually pretty decent. Now, any of the audiophiles out there would probably laugh at this because to them this kind of a turntable would be garbage. Now, this one was bought brand new. The reason why I bought this turntable is it got excellent reviews. It's made pretty sturdy. It is unfortunately made in China, and it is a pretty much a knockoff of a Technic's turntable, but it is a damn good one. It's got the Audio Technica A95E, and it's a decent beginner cartridge, moving magnet. I mean, it's pretty decent. But what I really got the turntable for was this right here. This allows you to lift the whole tone arm up, and you can pretty much accommodate any slip mat you want. I actually went out and bought some cork and made my own cork slip mat, and it works really well. The tone arm, yeah, I mean, you can put any type of cartridge on this tone arm, and it is very nice. I mean, this thing works extremely well. Multiple head shells you can put on there, obviously. But it's got a really nice cueing lever. And, I mean, pretty much it's a pain in the ass to set up, people. And the one thing I did do right away was to take out this. This is the preamp in the USB, the USB version of this turntable. The smarter people will go and buy the non-USB version, which you don't have to worry about a preamp. But yanking this preamp out right here will make your sound 10 times better. And there was this little black switch right here was actually used to turn off the line so that you don't have the preamp going. But the problem is it still went through the capacitors of that thing, and that's a piece of junk. What I did is I opened it up, took the preamp out, wired the tone arm directly to the RCA cables. And I want to put different RCA ports in the back so I can use my own different types of RCA cables. I also have this other turntable, and I have them split together so I can queue up records on each one and just go back and forth. So I'm not, I can just queue them up, almost like a DJ would do who's just playing music. This turntable will function as a DJ turntable. You can scratch with it. It plays 78s, 45s, 33 and a thirds, and it does a really good job of it. It has a light on it that's pretty cool. Why I don't ever use the light. You definitely don't want to use it during the play because you can actually hear that through your tone arm. It's heavy. It's really heavy. It's got a really sturdy plate in the bottom of it. I mean, this thing's a beast. It weighs a lot, and it really helps. That's just 33, and to stop it, it stops right away. I mean, and you can see that in all the other videos and reviews about it. It does. It stops really close. And then that's your switch for off, on. The queuing arm is really nice. The instructions for this thing on how to set this up, this is a pain in the ass. You're better off either finding somebody who knows how to set the turntables up or watching one of the videos on YouTube on how to do it. But once you set it up the first time, afterwards it's a breeze. Easy counterweight adjustments on the back, I love the adjustment of the tone arm. That is a big plus. This thing reverse goes forward, obviously. The pitch control. It's got a quartz lock. You can keep it on and it doesn't change. You can hit that off and now it'll change to the red color. I don't use this for obviously DJing because I am not that skilled enough to actually do that. I wish I could though, because I think it's definitely a pretty cool thing to do. But I use this just for listening to records. This is my Dire Straits Brothers in Arm record on there, and it sounds amazing. The cartridge obviously is your basic Audio Technica line cartridge. It's definitely a decent one. You could go worse with it, I guess, but this is laughable in most regards for Audio Technica people. This is the lowest, I think, of the second lowest cartridge that you can possibly have on this thing, but yet it still sounds good and it delivers quite a punch. Eventually I want the 440 MLA cartridge with the microline stylus to it, and that will sound quite amazing. I don't know. I absolutely love this turntable. It sounds amazing. I'll put just a little bit on here. Queuing arm drops nice and slow. I mean, it definitely works quite well. And I mean, I got this thing for like $230, and I mean that's pretty damn good. I'm surprised. It works extremely well. It looks nice too. I mean, you can deck these things out. You can actually send them away and have them completely decked out. They obviously are not as cool as the Technics. I think it's the 1200 SLK. The real nice professional DJ turntables that unfortunately they've stopped making. But I'd say for a beginner turntable, this is really nice. I like it. It works fine. Sounds really good. Once I put a different cartridge on there, it'll sound 10 times better. This is just one of the hobbies here. I've got lots of 80s music. I absolutely love 80s music. Daft Punk, just a few of the collection here. Some of these, I love them for the horns. Yes, that's Milli Vanilli. These are, I just love, the sound that you can get from these things. If you take care of them and make sure to, treat your records good. I clean every single record. I clean them every single time I put a new one on. I use the disc washer with the liquid. Clean it every single rep, every side I clean, and I use the carbon fiber. This thing is a tool, this is a must-have. Helps clean the dust off the records really nice. Like I said, I mean, this is definitely a good buy. I wouldn't mind, later owning a different, turntable, but I like the older ones. But this one, the reason also I chose this one is it is not an automatic. It's completely manual turntable. There's no return, there's no anything. And that way there's no mechanics actually connected to the tone arm, which gives you a pure sound. And lots of the purists for the audiophiles who use records do not like to use automatic return turntables, even though there's a lot of really nice ones out there. I like it to where there's nothing else hooked up to the tone arm. It's completely free, no mechanics whatsoever to, hinder sound. Even though there's lots of really good turntables out there that don't hinder the sound. Like this black one, the Sansui right here, this one's an automatic turntable and it sounds freaking amazing. But I have to admit, Audio-Technica definitely made a really nice turntable. As you can see, there's the tone arm right there. It's really nice. Got your anti-skate right there. Cueing arm and your height adjust. Nice. Most people don't use this for a DJ turntable, even though some do. I use it just to play records. And so far I'm really happy with it, and I would advise everybody that if you do get the tone arm, to make sure to rip that preamp out. And make sure you're going to have to wire a ground too, because if you don't, you go to hook it up like I did, you're going to have that nice loud pitch hum that you get when you don't have a grounded out turntable, which is quite annoying. But this works, and it works really well. I mean, all the power features, everything. This thing's built like a freaking tank. The motor is amazing on it. I can cue and exactly, it's not 100% exactly to 33 1/3. It's slightly off, just barely. But I'm also not going to spend how much money to go, and buy the turntables that are so perfect. I mean, it sounds really good. For somebody who's just getting into records, this is a good turntable. Do not buy a stupid Crossley or one of the ones that they sell at like Target or Walmart or something like that. You do not want to use those. The head shell right there that is used is way too heavy. They're usually ceramic cartridges, and they will ruin your records faster than anything. So you definitely don't want to use those. None of them. No Jensens, none of those. You want to actually go out, and if you're going to spend the money on these records, and some of them can be expensive, the new ones are $25 to $40 something. If you want to do that, you want to make sure you find something that's going to treat your records right, so you can, put the exact amount of weight you want on that tracking force. It's important. Do not go cheap with record players, even though this right here would be considered cheap for record players, and I really don't think so. I think it's a really good deal if you don't have the money to go out and go spend, $1,300 to $2,000, and some of them turntables can be up to $150,000 for a thing that just plays vinyl. You got to treat them good. You got to make sure you clean them very well. You don't want you're going to have the clicks and pops. Me personally, I don't mind that. I grew up with records. My dad had lots of records, and I just remember the little clicks and pops. So to me, it just sounds familiar, and I like it. If you got a really clean record, you won't have to worry about that. But every once in a while on the older records, you're going to have a couple clicks and the pops, and it's just really, I don't know, to me, it's kind of nostalgic, and I also do believe the sound is better. You can't really pick that up on this video, but I don't know, it's definitely a good turntable. I just would definitely recommend ripping the preamp out of it, or don't buy the one with the USB function to hook up to your computer. I think that's just the best way to go. And Obviously, I'd like to have all kinds of different turntables on there, but this for right now will suffice. It's a great turntable. I definitely recommend it to anybody who can't really spend that kind of money. I mean, even this is not cheap. I mean, you know, for average working people, this is not a cheap turntable. I mean, this thing will set you back a little bit, but do you want to buy something that's $60 that's going to ruin your records, or do you want to buy something that's going to be, you know, decent and treat your records right and you'll actually use it for 20 or so years? This is definitely the one to do that. I don't know. But anyways, that is the review for the Audio Technica AT-LP 120 USB. Actually, mine is non-USB. And hopefully that helps clear some of the questions you have about the turntable.